Today we're gonna talk about why you keep losing. One key thing. You miss too much. My name's Val. I played tennis for over 15 years and recently graduated playing D1 tennis. And the biggest lesson I learned is that you can't win if you miss. Today's lesson might be stupidly simple. You can't win if you miss. But if I had to share a story with you, I remember specifically when I started first playing college tennis, I'd be like, coach, like what am I doing wrong? What can I do better? And I was expecting like a grip change. I was expecting a footwork thing. I was expecting some super tactical thing. And he was like, Val, listen closely what I'm gonna say. And I was like, I'm excited. He's gonna tell me some juicy secret. He's like, you miss too much. I was like, huh? He's like, you miss too much. And the point of the story is that it's obvious. It's so obvious, but most tennis players miss it. And if you're able to put the ball consistently back in, improve your breaking point, and hit at a margin that is deep, you're gonna set yourself up for success. But the big, juicy, fat, obvious part about playing collegiate tennis, about transitioning to playing pro tennis, is that these players have a much higher breaking point. If we define breaking point as the number of shots you hit before you miss, that number is just so much higher. The more you improve in tennis, the more that you're playing higher level people. A lot of tennis isn't actually winning. A lot of tennis is actually extracting errors. Just putting the ball back in, allowing your opponent to make the mistake. And it doesn't have to be just like something that you just put it on the other side and it's like a weak ball and then you get destroyed over. No, I mean like putting the ball back deep in the court. What does deep in the court even mean? So if I'm over here, right, on the baseline, deep in the court means the ball lands around here, back. If you're able to put the ball behind this into this area of the court repeatedly, you will probably win a bunch more matches. Another message, don't miss wide. Oftentimes we try to go for a flashy shot that's super angled, and although it has its time and place, the likelihood you miss wide over long is much higher. Like, the court is a rectangle, meaning that it is much longer along its length than it is on its width. So if you're counting your shots along its width, the likelihood you miss is much higher than betting on its length. And that is why hitting it cross court actually is one of the most consistent shots, because you're going off the hypotenuse. And I'm not trying to sound like a freaking nerd here, but it's just you're getting more length for the ball to land on the court. So you're optimizing the success of that shot being in, therefore being consistent, therefore not missing, buying yourself another opportunity to keep setting yourself up for attacking or extracting errors. And if you're like, okay, Val, I understand the paradigm shift, but like, how do I actually practice that? I consistently drill, I consistently hit balls repeatedly into the court. How can I improve consistency? Well, it's just more reps. It's being extremely intentional when you do hit those balls. And the 3 best ways to practice that are just so stupidly simple. You're gonna hate my answer. But it's just going down the line, rallying with the partner, 100 balls. Going cross court, rallying with your partner, 100 balls. Going the other cross court, rallying with your partner, 100 balls. When you first start, it might just be getting used to hitting that many balls, therefore increasing your break point, right? You just getting the balls in. And after you're doing a lot better and you feel yourself being more consistent and you're like, man, I can do a much better job putting it in very specific places, being extremely, even more intentional than before, that's when you start putting margin. It goes progressively from making the balls in, getting used to the 100 reps, being able to swing that racket without getting tired or, more importantly, unfocused. Once you're used to the 100 reps, then the ball goes from bouncing here to adding margin, so it bounces deep. And you are standing here and after, right? And if you're practicing with the right people, it actually turns into something fun and not like overly boring and just feels like soul-wrenching, hitting the same ball for a number of minutes back and forth. No, it turns into a game, and I like to call it target practice, and it might be as easy as setting up 3 balls, like a little pyramid, and once you hit it, it gives you feedback that you knocked it down, which is super exciting, right? Or you might even change it to your water bottle or a volleyball. Ideally, it's not something tall, so you guys can keep practicing and not tripping over it. Just like this volleyball might be a little bit big, I might, accidentally step on it, break my ankle, and end my whole career like that. Ideally, it's a small little cone. I hope this is helpful. It was literally condensing 4 years of D1 college tennis, and it's one of the most simple things ever, and one of the highest levers that if you are active about it in practice, if you're intentional about it in practice, will be one of the biggest and easiest ways that you start winning your next matches. Bye.